The school that I'm looking at is Orr High School, which is going through a number of types of closures. It's still open, but it's a very different place from when it started. So Orr was started in 1917, actually, as a school that was going to do technical training, but it kind of jumped around. So at first, Orr was in a neighborhood Catholic school. Then it went into the Marshall building. Then it went into its own building. Then, after it was in its own building, it by 2003, it had gone through, well, actually, 97, it had actually been reconstituted. So everybody got fired, all the teachers got fired, and then they got a whole different crop of teachers. Then it got broken up into small schools. So you had Mose Vines, you had uh, or you had Phoenix Military Academy, and you had one other school. Then it, after those four schools closed, then it went back to a comprehensive school. And then that comprehensive school got turned around, and then now it is a shared location with a local charter school. So Orr has actually gone through all five types of school closures. Yeah, I think my resistance comes up in saying, look, this has always happened to Black people. It's always happened to Black people in certain neighborhoods, and making it public that when we think about school closings as the most recent iteration in like 2013, it's actually part of a longer stream of closings that actually started in the late 60s. So this thing around my resistance came in the form of making public knowledge of this. So like, it's not just this new set of closings, but it's connected to this longer history when you look at Black people demanding quality education. It's always been in the context of closures. I think now we have to be really diligent in terms of a vision for Black education, a vision for Black people in a city like Chicago who have experienced closures, because I think there is a very unique set of circumstances that we need to pay attention to. And I think the vision for the future will include community engagement, but in a way where community always has space in these new schools that are created. And I think there is a prototype with that when we talk about sustainable community schools, who have made a conscious decision to say, it's not just the school, but there's actually going to be a group of community members and community groups that will also be part of the school. And I think that's an important prototype moving forward, that this new vision can never be absent of the community. And I think that's a lesson from Chicago that people have put forward. So when you look at the history of people creating schools that have done right by Black children, there's always been a deep community connection. I think that becomes important, and we'll have to constantly return to that in terms of a vision for the future. Well, or is this building now that it's kind of has a co-location. And what I mean by that, there's a YMCA in it, there's a local charter school in it, and then there's the comprehensive high school. So you got these four entities in the building, but it's still severely underpopulated. So the building is built for over 2,000 students. I don't think it has 400 now. So you're talking about a deeply underpopulated building where students still have very explicit needs that aren't being tended to. Yeah, I think one of the things that has been put in context, and I learned this from an organizer named G2 Brown. He would always say, any effort of Black folks to change their condition is met with the most intense response by white supremacy. And I think that's how I see school closings. And I think the vision for the future must understand that anytime we have self-determined, we have been met with extreme opposition. And I think this new vision should be us preparing for that opposition once again.